This is Epic Online internal training video, and in this video we'll be looking at compliance. Before a session, you cannot cancel any session with less than 3 hours notice. If you have an emergency and need to do so, you need to inform the monitoring team on Skype. Your location needs to have previously been cleared by the IT department and make sure it looks clean and professional looking. Before a session, make sure all your cell phones is also turned off, that the doors are closed and that there are no interruptions. We also need you to be very conscious that this is a professional environment, so please be clear of little kids running around, other people in the household passing by behind you and all that kind of stuff. Most of our students are working corporate companies, so we need to make sure we are on their level of expectation. Make sure to check your grooming as well. Present yourself as if you're going to the office. We require the ladies to put on proper makeup for the office and be appropriately dressed, and for the boys, I don't think we need you to put on suit and tie, but I think a proper shirt with the collar, not round neck t-shirt stuff like that. Just be very conscious about this. We need to project a certain image to our students and your clients. And make sure that your headset is ready to be used as specified by the IT department. We have been encountering a number of cases where the students have been complaining about loud tapping in the keyboard by the coaches, and we checked and the coaches were using the headset, but unfortunately sometimes the setting has been set to the microphone on the PC or laptop. So please, even though when you plug in your headset, please check that the settings have been configured accurately so that you're using the correct microphone, and please do contact the IT department or Abled Online if you need any help in this area. If it's your first session for the day, make sure that you reboot your PC or laptop, so that the RAM drive is all clear, because very often you may not be aware of this, you had been running other programs, and they are still be sitting there somewhere in the PC, and is taking up processing power, and maybe even affecting the internet connection. Also do a speed test and copy and paste the results to the monitoring team Skype. And make sure your recorder, whether it be for Skype, is working. 5 minutes to the hour or 10 minutes before your session starts, make sure to sign into Skype or whichever program you're using and log into the eScheduler, otherwise the monitoring team will be looking for a substitute coach, and you'll be considered no-show and subject to penalty. And this penalty is severe, for the simple reason that this compromises the service we provide to our clients, and could affect our business. And make sure to read the student's report and profile, and familiarize yourself with the previous session with the student, and check the agreed exercise for the current session. One of the unique aspects of Epic Online versus other English online programs is that there is random assignment of coaches, and this is done specifically so that the student practice speaking with different people, and this is critical to developing the conversational capability of the student. However, if we do not have a proper handover for each session, the chances are that the student might feel the whole thing being very disjointed, so it is important that you create a link from the previous session to the current session, and also provide that link for the next session, so that the student feels that he or she is being looked after, and not just kind of being randomly done as a student. During your session, make sure the recorder is turned on and actually recording. Because otherwise we do not have any evidence of you having done the session, and secondly, if there is any issue with the session, which the student make a note about or passes a comment about, there's no way for us to check, and if there's no way for us to check, we have to assume that the student is correct, and this might compromise you as a coach. Turn on your webcam to greet the student, because you want to create a bit of a report, and it is important that we maintain a face-to-face effect with our sessions. Because this is what we sell. Epic is a one-on-one face-to-face online English coaching. So the face-to-face part is important. However, with permission of the student, you can turn off the webcam if the connection quality is not satisfactory. But we will require you to at least have the camera on to say hello to the student, and at the end to turn it on to say goodbye. During the session, make sure you review the previous session. Again, creating the link that making the student feels that he/she been looked after. And then do the activity that has been posted in the forum for the session. When it comes towards the end of the session, what you do when giving feedback, make sure you praise the strength and identify weaknesses and recommend activities outside of Epic Online sessions. We do have a separate video on giving appropriate feedback, because we do tend to get feedback from students saying the coach has given feedback that is too general. You need to make sure feedback is directed to the student and is a little bit more specific. We do get complaints from students saying that they're getting canned sort of feedback, so you have to be very specific, so that the student feels that he/she is being considered specially. Discuss and agree exercises for your next session, and send links to confirm, so that the student has chance, if he/she wants you to preview the links for the next session, but this is not a requirement for them to do so. Then send the link for evaluation, and wait for the student to confirm that the evaluation has been completed. In the case of choppy connections, noise, static and regular drop connections, the monitoring has to be informed immediately and you need to follow their instructions. If the calls drop more than 4 times, it needs to be rescheduled. The monitoring team is the final decision maker regarding go or no go on the session, and what needs to be done, because we have to follow certain protocol. Also, again, we have needs and commitments to our clients on where we run our sessions, so please do abide by the instructions given by the monitoring team. Post sessions. Make sure to post in the student report within 6 hours after completion of the session and according to the set format. Sometimes there are concurrent sessions been done, so there is separate procedure for this, and Thing will book a separate video for this. Students might be doing concurrent sessions one after another. The importance about posting early is that the student could have another session coming up, so the coach for the subsequent session needs to be able to know what went on in the previous session. Make sure to upload the recording within 12 hours after the session. There is a compliance penalty as well, but this is discussed in the video on coach rates. This is quite important. Compliance is very critical for us, and unfortunately we do have to impose penalty for those of you who don't comply, but the whole rationale of the penalty is not to penalize you, but to make sure you comply. The structure of the penalty is that you can actually redeem the penalty if you are complying in future session, versus referred to the video in the coach rates. If you are penalized on compliance, you'll be excluded from the Coach of the Month considerations, which is actually could be quite rich, because if you do a lot of sessions and you're Coach of the Month, you actually get a premium for every session which you do. So it could be a very nice little bonus, and currently we have 3 coaches for the month, and as the volumes picks up we intend to increase the number. But if you feel really worried, just rewatch this video and do everything that was mentioned in previous slides and you should be okay. And if you have any questions, feel free to post on Facebook groups or write to any of the department heads directly. If you watch the video on the team, you'll know who's in charge of which department, and their email address is also given, but it is easy to know the email addresses. It is their first name @genashteam.com. And that's everything in this video for today. Thank you.